and welcome to the tutorial for toe up knitting. So this is a way of creating a tube that has a sealed bottom. So we're talking about like toe up socks or the bottom of a pajama bag. This tutorial is actually for a pattern that I've released called the Cozy Comfort Pajama Bag. So anything that you start from the bottom up that you want to make into a tube. So we are going to start with 2 of our 3 DPNs. So you are going to make a loop with your yarn and you're going to have a loop cross in the front. So we're always knitting right to left. So when I say front, I mean on the left side. So the loop is going to cross on the left side like that, which is the front. Then you slide your needle through and squinch it up. Just like that. Whoops! Just like that. Then you're going to have your other needle right beside it like that. They're twins. And here's how you do it. So you take the top yarn up and over and around. Then the bottom one up, over and around. Up through the middle, over the bottom needle, up through the middle, over the top needle. See, my top finger is always wrapping around the bottom needle. My bottom thumb is always wrapping around the top needle. And so if you've got the right facing loop, this should be pretty easy. All right, hopefully that makes sense. You want to make sure you got an even number of stitches on each needle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now here's where the magic happens. If you didn't already find that interesting enough, you're going to keep these 2 pieces of yarn pulled apart and you're going to twist them. Okay, so right now my needles are facing the left. Now they're going to be facing the right. You're going to twist them. Okay, so right now my needles are facing the left. Now they're going to be facing the right. And I'm going to make sure I add another little twist right there. So it came over like this. I'm adding another twist. Okay, so now the yarn that I'm knitting with is here, and this is my tail. This is when the 3rd DPN comes into play. You're going to squinch that up, the yarn up on the top needle, and you're going to take your free DPN underneath so you're knitting through the back loop on that top needle. This is going to be very awkward for me, so we'll just, whoops, you got to hold on to that tail. Hold the tail. Makes all the difference. Okay, there we go. Underneath, knitting through the back loop. So we're making like a twist, but actually what we're doing is undoing a twist. And everything on the bottom needle stays exactly where it is. If you're doing this on Magic Loop, you would have just scooted the loops, the knit stitches on this bottom needle down the wire and pulled the needle out. But because I'm doing a DPN, I actually need 3 needles to make this work. All right, awkward, but it's working. You can see that there's some grafting happening and that I'm making one big piece of fabric. All right, there we go. That's it for knitting through the back loop. Let's move that out of the way. Twist them around again, and you can see that we're starting to get the beginning of, this is what a Kitchener toe would look like at the end of a top-down sock. We're getting that same grafted together look. So now we're just going to knit normally through the front of the loop. This, I haven't learned how to do this without tensing my hand up. It is a bit of a, what's the way to say it? A bit of a messy process. You got to go slow and you just have to be meticulous with every part of what you're doing. Okay, oop. Not meticulous. And over it goes. All right, we'll do one more just to get the gist of it, but now you can see it's starting to grow. And you're probably thinking, well, yeah, but isn't it just going to keep growing like this and be like this long, weird scarf made for a mouse? No, that's not what ends up happening. You are knitting in the round and you are going to end up creating curve on either side. So you're going to end up creating this big long tube like a sock. It just takes a little while to get there. So I'll keep knitting and show you what it looks like once that curve comes into play. So as you can see, I have started to create that tube shape here. I also needed to add some more DPNs because that's what you do when you're knitting in the round. Start with 2 and you end up with 5. And here's the end result. So you can see we started with just this yarn and 2 needles, and what we have is this perfect looking fabric that you'd never know didn't always look like that. So that's how you can start the Cozy Comforts pajama bag or any toe-up sock. Thanks.